going to start our study session 2 minutes late, but anyway. I have item number 8. 8, and I'm going to call that ready. And also item number 9, and I'm going to call that ready. Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Madam President. I have items 10 through 15. We have the chiefs here to speak if there are any questions. Otherwise, we went over them Wednesday.
I have a couple. Yeah.
On which one?
Number 10.
Okay, item 10. Chief Cecil.
Oh, here's your...
Thank you.
Don't even open it. I ain't gonna look at it. It's too big.
So, sorry, was there a question about 10?
Yes. I know this is a really small, $1,500 item, but I wondered if you could take us through what changes you're expecting to build into the website that maybe this encapsulates or maybe it doesn't.
Sure, we're trying to overhaul our entire website so that it's more friendly, user-friendly. It's relatively old, to be honest, so one of the things we're going to try to incorporate, one of the things we're excited about, and it's just a small part of it, is once we upgrade our website, we're hoping to attach what other cities have done with regards to private cameras on site. Many places around the country, what they've done is actually put on the ability on the website for people to register their cameras. It doesn't mean we're going to be looking at them. It means that they're going to put their name, address, and a contact number so that if something occurs on their street or in their neighborhood that we think may have been captured on camera, footage is very valuable these days. We can reach out to them and say, hey, do you mind if we could stop over and take a look at your camera? Because we think it may have caught something we need. So it's upgrades like that, not particular that, but we have to upgrade our website in order to even implement something like that because it's rather antiquated right now. I don't know did I answer that to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you expecting that the upgrades are going to be made slowly over time, or is there going to be a one rollout day?
It's going to be one rollout day because it's not just this $1,500, but City Hall. Some of the folks at City Hall are also working on upgrading our website. So we hope to bring it out like one rollout, just like you said.
And do you know when? Do you have an estimate of like season even or month?
I don't know. Okay. I'll try to get a timeline for you though.
Okay.
Sure.
So, and Chief, I know that the resolution on different cameras is a lot different. So you said you'll be able to go and look at other people's with a resolution. Work with your system?
Sure. It won't, well, we'll be physically at their homes looking at it. So on whatever network they have. Yeah. So the quality. You're right. The quality is going to vary from 0 to 100. A lot of folks are getting these doorbell ones now that have pretty good resolution. So, but we'll be right there looking at them. So, to be honest, anything captured on camera is going to be probably valuable to us, especially if it's a major event.
Thank you.
And you're not talking about uploading the videos. You're just talking about sending an officer out to actually look at what they physically have, and then if it's relevant, then downloading it and being able to view it on police site.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Okay, that's item 10. Any questions on items 11 through 15?
I have questions on 11.
Number 11, Chief.
Okay. So I have some questions about the public safety psychology. And I wondered if there were I wondered what the guidelines are that they use. Are they state? Are they federal? Are they within a police accreditation agency? And why that work couldn't be done locally?
Sure. What we have done in the past, and we haven't always had this medical group, but we try to reach out to individuals that are not only psychologists or psychiatrists, but work with folks similar to us, whether it's military or police, because they know various things that would either allow you to become a police officer or things that may make you not the best candidate for us. So we have shopped around. There's no group locally that we know of that tend to treat military and police and know the ins and outs of those two job specs, descriptions and stuff. So, but we have had a different group than this. So the answer to your question is if we found a group that was local and had the qualifications that this group had, we would certainly look at them.
So the screening they're not questions that it's not an interview like some other psychological testing is doing a data tested tool, just conducting a tool, to see whether you have a particular diagnosis, for example. there's no tool like that that could be applied by any psychologist. It's a more subjective standard, or is there some kind of guiding principle behind it?
There's a little bit of guiding principle, but it is subjective as well. Keep in mind, we're trying to find people that have the right demeanor to be police officers, meaning they're able to handle stress, that they haven't had things in their past that don't allow them to handle stress, things like that. So it's different. There's definitely subjective, and these folks in this group are experts on military and police, as I mentioned before. So it's not a strict guideline that you would find if you were looking for people to work, at a bank or teachers or doctors. Or it's specific to military and police. That's what their expertise is in.
Okay, I might follow up later with some other
Absolutely. I mean, I can give you more details. It's just difficult. I know these are in this. It's difficult to go into detail what they're asking and what.
Right.
But offline, I can certainly give you a better example of what they're talking about in that room. Yep.
Okay? Yes?
One question, Chief. I don't know if this was answered. Is this in any way new or different from what was done already? What candidates? Did you answer that? Was that question asked already?
Oh.
Because I know that there's a psychological profile done for candidates now.
Right. No.
So is this in some way different from what's?
Nope. No different at all, Counselor. We the process from recruitment till you raise your hand and get sworn in has been pretty much the same. Background, polygraphs, psychological tests, physicals. It's all. This is standard for us.
And Chief, this is the same thing that we've asked in the past?
It is.
And move forward with it?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions on 11? 12? Any questions? 13?
I have a question on 12.
12? Yes.
Before you move to 12, can I ask one question? I apologize for the delay. Back to item 11. So this is for new applicants. Do you guys ever do it for existing officers now?
We do. This contract would include that. If we had an officer that we believed had some type of issue that this would either assist with or help us diagnose, we would send an active officer to this group as well.
How often do you guys do this, or does something have to happen for you to do it?
Oh, definitely. Something would definitely have to happen. If we were to send folks to a psychologist or a psychiatrist without something happening, we'd be in a little bit of trouble. So certainly something has to occur. We have to be alerted by something, either by something that's going on, either in their personal life or on the job, and then we would make a determination to bring these folks in. It's very rare, though, Counselor, that we do that with active
But there's
officers.
no way for you guys to do like a yearly evaluation, because things change in people's lives. So their reactions to certain situations will change. So if you're doing this just as a new officer, but then you never do it again, like people's mindsets change over time, especially after being in this type of profession. So have you guys ever considered doing this throughout the officer's career, or just when they first come on?
Yes, just when they first come on. And again, keep in mind, officers that are out there have a sergeant that oversees them very intimately, and then you have lieutenants, they have captains. So if something is occurring, especially if it's occurring on the job, we're going to be alerted to that, and we'll be able to use this resource. But as far as just having them regularly go through that every year, no, we've never considered that.
Okay.
So one more quick question. So I'm going to piggyback on Counselor Allen and Counselor Lovejoy's question. So if there's an officer and there's a discipline, and not necessarily, but there's a discipline attached, they don't go through, I'm just going to say it, for a shooting, do they go for this?
It's different.
Psychological?
Here's what, yes, they are offered. Not only our pastor or our police chaplains will reach out to them. We have peer support group, which is very valuable. These are officers that in many cases have gone through this themselves. There's a whole group of those officers that reach out to this officer, bring him or her in and speak with them. But this service would certainly be available to them as well if they wanted to take it to that next level. No doubt about it. Whatever we can offer them, especially if it's something like you mentioned, an officer-involved shooting.
It's real.
Yeah,
and
no
I
doubt.
think that traumatizes a lot of folks, including the officer, and there should be some type of something to follow up on.
Yep.
There is a standard, there is a protocol that occurs after shootings with officers, right?
There's protocol after protocol.
You want to explain that maybe to the counselors?
Sure. There's all kinds of protocols for officer-involved shootings. Okay, and I again, in front of the public, I don't know if I want to go through each one of the components, but part of that is, of course, reaching out. They're given 72 hours where they're not going to come back to work right away. In many cases, it's going to be longer than that because of grand juries and things like that. But many people reach out to them to make sure that they're okay. And keep in mind, it doesn't just happen on officer-involved shooting. The tragic situation where the individual killed her 3 children and then herself, the officers, every officer that was on that scene and witnessed that, the peer support group reaches out to them, the chaplains reach out to them, and they try to make sure that they're okay. There's nothing, I mean, officer-involved shooting is one thing, but officers see things that most people shouldn't see, most people, we hope, won't see. So we're reaching out to officers anytime they're involved in something that we think may have traumatized them.
So that's a lot. They see a lot of things that normal people wouldn't see.
Yes.
So back to Councilor Allen's point, do they then get to go to the psychological, a review or whatever?
Sure, it's certainly available to them, Madam
Not
President.
mandated.
I'm sorry?
But not mandated.
No, it's not mandated. Nope, it is not mandated.
Is implicit bias testing involved in any of the psychological testing that you do?
In the recruiting, for the recruits or the people that are...
We're talking
gonna
about
be-
item 11, the psychological testing that's provided to applicants for the police academy. Is implicit bias?
Yes,
It is.
yes.
Is it done with all of the officers at some point?
No. Here's the thing, during in-service training, which occurs every year, there is typically a 1 or 2 hours that involves implicit bias. It's more training than a test, but we have that almost every year. But not what they're talking about, where a psychologist is determining whether you have that or not.
Okay. Obviously, I think it's good money well spent. Number 12.
I have a question. Are there security concerns about any of the, we never talked about this since I've been on the council at least, about the cops' cameras and any ability for outsiders to gain access, to destroy, to in any way damage that technology?
Yes, we're concerned about that all the time. And we have safeguards after safeguard after safeguard, but no system, no network is 100% secure, as we just noted from the school district, which many of our cameras wire in through the school district network, and when that was jeopardized, some of our cameras went down. So we are constantly looking. We have firewalls and all kinds of things to try to prevent that. I mean, even the body cams, which go up to the cloud and come back, Axon has all kinds of firewalls to try to prevent just what you're talking about, someone being able to tap in and take some footage out of there. But the answer to your question is, of course, yes, we're always concerned by that.
Any other questions on 12? Item number 13. Might as well go through them then. Any questions? No? Number 14. Any questions? And number 15 is for the fire department. Any questions? My items are...
I said thank you, Chief.
My items are ready.
Thank you. Councilor Bay.
Thank you, Madam President. I have item number 16. I'm not sure if Mr. Kearney or anybody is here. We discussed this in the study session. Was there any additional questions? If not, I'll call that item ready.
Thank you. Councilor Rudd.
Thank you, Madam President. I have 17 through 21. 17, I believe, is ready. Are there any questions in addition to what we talked about before? 18, ready. Any other questions? 19, I'm going to table. 20, ready, and 21, ready, unless there's other questions from councilors.
And number 19?
19, I'm tabling.
Okay. Okay, we can wait, I guess. I'd like to hear from Del Vecchio on this. You did have the meeting, but he never spoke and spoke about how it will affect or does affect his office, since it's under there now.
I don't think he was here, but we can talk to him before the next meeting.
Huh?
We can talk to him before the next meeting.
Okay, I'd like to have him speak.
He's not here.
He's not.
Okay, if we can get him here for the next meeting then. Yeah.
Councilor Green.
Thank you, Madam President. Item 22, any questions on that? Okay, 23. 24. 25. 26 and 27 are the parking ones, which we discussed last time. Yep.
Is Ms. Dunham? I don't know, who is this? Is this Ms. Dunham? Yeah. I didn't see anything in our materials, Ms. Dunham, about I saw the cost, but not the expected revenue. I just wanted to see that.
Expected revenue for all the parking garages?
Item 26, so I see that what the costs are, what the agreement is for costs. What is the revenue?
Okay, we can give you historically what the revenue has been in those garages.
Just projected.
Right. Okay. I have a question on 28 too.
28 is going to be held. So for 20, any other questions on 26 and 27? 28 and 29 are going to be held, but if Counselor has a question, we can just answer it now.
Are you giving out awards?
I
As if you do, I'm all set.
don't know. You haven't done anything yet today. I might.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Are you expecting awards?
Yeah, I would love
I
another.
think you're doing great so far.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know on 28 if you had that information. I think the question was asked last week about how much the discount was, or what the businesses had received, and therefore what they're giving, what they're
Yes. Yeah, I'm working with, this has really been kind of Deputy Commissioner Ann Fordock's baby since she started, so I'm just working with her to put together an email that will address all the questions that were posed last week. So you should be expecting that within the next day or two, and then hopefully, if there are any subsequent questions after that, we can address those. But I think it should provide a lot of the background information.
That's great. I just didn't know that.
Okay.
So thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Take it
I have
from there.
one as well.
Yeah.
I had some university property owners reach out saying that their concern isn't so much the financial as it is the logistical. And I just wondered if in your email if they addressed that, or if there is some thought to that, because their concern is that putting out a dumpster isn't feasible on a lot of these university properties, so they don't know what their solution would be. So I'd just be curious to
Yeah, I'll look and see. I think the way that it would, one option also is just carts, that it would be just not a dumpster necessarily, just be a cart that you put out, and the hauler comes and picks it up just like you put out a trash can. But I can find out. I can talk to Ann too. I know that this is really her area of expertise.
Yeah, it was just like...
Is it narrow streets or just putting a dumpster on the property?
Their concern is both where would they put the dumpster and how would the trucks get into a lot of these SU properties with student housing, with them being so close together and there not really being a ton of access.
Yeah.
So I would just be curious to hear, what the logistical solution would be.
I mean, I would guess it would be similar to, our trucks and our staff manage to get in there. But we can look specifically at some of the more challenging problems to see.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And if they could, if she could address how our DPW department, sanitation, is going to know which properties to pick up and which properties not to pick up.
Sure.
They're driving down the street now, and to them, they don't know if there's 4 units or 5 units in some of these houses. What's to make sure they don't pick
Right.
up the trash
Okay.
at the 5 unit.
Okay.
Let me just jump in real quick. Why not? Let's keep
Why
it
not?
going. So if that happens and it turns out that way, wouldn't it be identifiable through the trash pickups cans? Would they not give them the cans that says waste, whatever they
So
are?
the carts?
Yeah.
Do you mean we wouldn't be picking up ones that have commercial carts, but I'm guessing, are you saying if somebody has 5 or 6 units and they're putting out?
I'm just saying if they just put their trash out
Yeah.
every week,
Yeah.
they don't read the paper,
That
they
should
don't
be
do this,
commercial
they
card.
don't
Right.
even know that it happened.
Right. Yeah, we'd have to have some way to identify. And there are supervisors, there are crew leaders that work with the sanitation. We wouldn't expect the people that are riding on back of the trucks to know that, but there are supervisors that oversee these crews, so we could certainly work with them to give them a list of, these are the properties that are going to be impacted.
Is that list done yet?
What's that?
Is that list done yet? How many properties?
Yeah, we have a list of the impacted properties.
How many is that?
So, I don't want to spoiler alert. Then you won't read my email.
Oh, I'll read it.
I don't have the number off the top of my head, but we do have that number of the impacted properties that have more than 4 units and 10 or less. So, yep.
Will the email have how much money you're going to save?
It will. It will.
Commissioner, you have
One more.
something to offer?
Oh, no, I was just being backup.
Just my backup.
Oh, okay.
He's got my back.
Just want to make sure that things go well.
So you ready to take some
You get an
of
award
it
too.
too?
You're doing great.
Yeah, Jeremy Robinson Award.
Just one more that I
Yeah.
a request for information
Sure.
there is what the cost differential between the recycling and the garbage is, and whether there's historically any information about whether buildings that are picked up by private haulers do more or less recycling than other municipal customers.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Item 30, any questions? Um, 31, 32, 33 and 34 are together. Any questions on those? And then item 35. Okay, thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Counselor Carney is not here. I think he called all of his items ready last week. Counselor Allen.
Thank you. I have items 43 through 57. Item 43 is ready. 44 and 45 are ready. 46 will be introduced and tabled. 47 is ready. 48 is withdrawn. 49 is ready. I'm going to hold item 50. 51 is ready. 52 is ready. 53 is ready. 54 will be withdrawn. And 55 is ready. 56 is ready. And I do have a question on 57. I didn't bring the spreadsheet in here with me. Can you give me the amount for 57?
Yeah, they owed $15,897.76.
Okay, so 57 is ready. All right, thank you.
I got one waiver.
Thank you. Counselor Thompson.
Thank you again, Madam President. I have a waiver item number 56, which is to get the money to Neighborhood Watch. Any questions? Thank you.
All righty, and with that, I need a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Adjourn.